This podcast episode is brought to you by GoTo, quality, effective skincare that actually works.
Hello and welcome to Self-Helped, the show where we've done the therapy so that you don't have to.
I'm Tully Smythe.
And I'm Maggie Kelly.
And while we're not licensed professionals, we sure have kept quite a few of them in business.
We're best friends in very different life stages, but from shrinks to bookstore bargain bins, we've both sampled the full self-help buffet.
And now we're dishing it out, secondhand, reheated, and seasoned with some questionable life choices. This is Self-Helped. Marguerite,
Tully-Ann.
you've matched your socks to our first bit of merch.
Oh my God, they're self-helped, Brandon.
Literally.
Do you reckon they're the same colour, like the same Pantone?
And my nails, 100%.
Wow, starting to absorb this show.
Look how professional we are.
Hi guys, is this our first merch session?
It is.
It really is.
Not the last though. Number 4 on Apple Podcasts. Can you believe it?
I actually can, because this show's fantastic.
It is fantastic. We were up there ahead of some of our icons.
Biggest competitors.
Won't name names.
Won't name any names.
We love them.
I know. I mean, I think we knew we had a spidey sense that this show would do well, but in our first week, massive.
Yeah, and thank you guys for listening.
Yes.
It means the world.
Yes.
How has your week been?
Girl, it's been a big week. I feel like we're in a much more jovial state than we were last week.
Not hard to do.
A little dusty, a little crusty around the edges. It's been a good week. What did I do? I got stuck in Chadstone.
That's a fever dream. That's a living nightmare.
It's the first time I'd been to Chadstone Shopping Centre.
Doesn't surprise me you don't drive.
I don't drive. You've just outed me as a non-driver. All right, we're all along for the ride now. Yes, I am learning to drive. I'm so close. I'm probably about 6 weeks from sitting the test.
Well, if you think
Terrifying.
that Chadstone attending as a shopper is hell, try parking.
Yeah,
Try parking on Christmas Eve.
Girl, I got so flustered I left the pram in the parking lot and I just thought, it can stay there. I'm not coming back for it.
What, you just abandoned it?
The
like
Uber
a shopping
driver.
shopping trolley.
I did, and my daughter was crying, going, Mummy, the pram. The pram was done. We've had it for 4 years.
Was it there when you came back?
I didn't go back, Tully. I left it there.
What do you mean? You just literally
I have to tell you, and any mother of a toddler will understand this, I had been in Chadstone for 4 hours. It was raining. My child hadn't eaten anything because she only wanted clean noodles, and I don't know what that means.
the food court there is hectic as well.
Hectic. I just spent 2 hours in Telstra trying to get a new phone. The pram wouldn't fold down, and I thought, that's it. That's max capacity. Goodbye, pram. Get in the car. Let's go.
That's savage.
Yeah.
Well, I spent my weekend alone because Ned was up in Newcastle.
Oh, Nettles.
Spending the entire weekend with my 2 brothers for my younger brother's Bucks weekend.
Stop. That's actually terrifying.
Terrifying.
How did you
I was
feel?
on edge waiting for updates. And because they're boys, there's no photos, there's no group shots,
No.
there's no lovely lunch setting. It was like a lock-in at a farmhouse.
Oh, lock-in.
They were told to bring wellies. Half of
Doesn't
them were
sound
like,
like Ned.
what are wellies? I'm like, gumboots.
How many embarrassing childhood stories do you think were exchanged?
That's what I was worried about. I was worried about my brothers convincing my boyfriend to not date me.
dump
And Ned was like, Tully, we're boys. You probably won't even come up.
You
Apparently I did
definitely
come
would
up.
have come up.
Apparently I did come up.
That's so sweet. But we love Ned. He's a golden
We do
retriever.
love
He
Ned.
would have.
And it means a lot that he made the effort to go up and spend
Yes.
some time. In fact, it's definitely more time than I've spent with my own brothers, back to back. But he survived. He came back in one piece, so that's good.
Do you think Ned's just going to become the boyfriend to many through this show? I think
100%.
Ned set a new standard for me.
As he should. I remember when I was single watching other relationships and meeting men like Ned, and I was like, that's what I want.
Yes. And girl, do you know what? I have to touch on it before the show begins, but thinking about perfect boyfriends, Abby Chatfield's Divine Love Dedication song.
I've had that song on repeat.
I know you have.
I've had that song. Ned's like, again? I'm like,
Yeah,
it's very
yes.
catchy and it has a lot of meaning, okay?
It means a lot to all of us.
No, we love them.
Done. All right. Well, Tal, should we get stuck into it?
I'm a bit nervous, but yes, let's do it.
You're on the couch today, so let's go. Therapy is now in session.
Back for another round of On the Couch, notepads in hand and tissues at the ready.
And you know you might be in a bit of a pickle when your therapist keeps suggesting you come back weekly. Like that's when you really need to just like get off the internet and don't post on Instagram. You really lost your marbles at that point.
If I'm going in weekly, I'm in crisis mode.
Yes.
Like something really big has happened. Shit has hit the fan. Thankfully, we're not actual therapists. So this is just some secondhand therapy paid forward.
We're very pleased to have you back again. And Tull, you're on the couch today. And this is a topic we're both uncomfortably familiar with. So let's get started. Tell us, what are we talking about today?
So today's topic was actually quite an organic one. It came from our very own WhatsApp chat 5 days ago.
It did. It's a freshie.
So it's very
Fresh out the
on
oven.
topic for us. But today I bring you Maggie, a topic that's been quietly haunting my relationship since basically the day Ned and I met, almost 2 years in, and it still creeps in and rears its ugly head every now and again, and that is hyper-independence.
Great topic. I think this is something you and I obviously both talk about a lot. A lot of other women, I think, are going to relate to this. Can you give us an example? What is hyper-independence?
I have many great examples. One of which was when I got laser eye surgery.
Oh, no.
You sign all these forms where you have to say legally who is picking you up.
Yes.
I lied. I knew I had the operation that day. I knew I obviously couldn't drive myself to and from my operation.
Well, now we know that I can't drive you to and from your operation either.
Because you're blind, because you can't drive.
Okay. Wow.
Just putting it all on the table today. No, but obviously after an operation like that, you can't drive, you can't see. You have those really cute goggles on. And I was too stubborn and too proud to ask for help. I could have asked one of my girlfriends to pick me up, but I was too stubborn. And so I lied on my forms and then I ordered an Uber and I had this poor Uber driver driving me home. I'm in so much pain. He's like, ma'am, miss, are you okay? I'm like, just drive. Just drive.
It's such a terrible story, but it makes me giggle every time thinking of you in the back of this Uber with like a little blind
Little blind mice.
can't get the words out. Like a little blind mouse with like things over your eyes going, sir, are we home yet? Is this my street?
Seriously. And I'm trying to like fumble in my bag for my house keys. And I'm like, I just need to get to my front door. And I did it again when I froze my eggs. I was too proud. I didn't want anyone seeing me be vulnerable or in pain or worse, out of it on anesthetic. And so I paid my PA to come and pick me up from my egg retrieval rather than just ask a friend.
I can't think of a better example to illustrate hyper-independence. Tell me a bit about how you think you got this way, you little blind mouse.
It all started when I was 14 years old and my mother, Kay, was diagnosed with early onset dementia. She was 51 at the time, so pretty young. But as we now know, early onset dementia doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter if you're 30 years old or 50 years old. But overnight, it felt like I'd kind of lost both my parents. I had to step up. Then came 8 years of being single where I had to do every hard thing, capital letters. I had to do it alone, no partner, no family down here, and no real safety net. And now, even with an incredible partner by my side, I still really, really struggle to ask for help or let him help. Asking for support feels so foreign. I push through, burn out, and eventually snap or pop, Maggie, as you put it. And then Ned is left to pick up the pieces and stitch you back together. Years of therapy later, and I'm still a work in progress, and that is okay. That is okay. Is it okay?
Oh, darling. Oh.
We are all works in progress.
Yes,
the key is noticing when we could have handled something differently, digging into the why it happens, and finding better ways to self-soothe and communicate before the snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah, I mean, as you can probably hear, it's an emotional topic. I know for both of us, we carry a bit of shame about it, a lot of shame about it. And you and I both...
Guilt and shame.
Yeah, totally. I know we've got prepared questions, but maybe tell us why you're crying. Why is this emotion coming up when we talk about this?
Because I do feel really guilty and I feel bad that my shit and my inability to reach out results in my loved one copying it, results in him being snapped at, being shouted at. He is often the punching bag in these situations. He's also often the one that has tried to offer the help, that has suggested, hey, what can I do? Please let me do this. And, you know, I've said, no, I'm all good. No, I've got it. No, I'm all good. And then suddenly I'm not all good.
For people listening, this has been a hot topic with us this week on our WhatsApp chat. We kind of compared this behavior of resisting help to like shaking a bottle of champagne and eventually pop.
Yeah.
right? You snap. And I think that's where a lot of this shame comes from for both of us. I also have, as our WhatsApp chat will testify, huge issues with hyperindependence. Like you, I left home when I was really young. I went to boarding school at 15 and basically didn't live at home since then. And I think going through those formative years, having to deal with things on your own, it's like a baked in behavior. You learn to deal with things by yourself and it becomes very, very difficult to let other people in. And I think you start to become a little bit embarrassed of the mess, right? Like I think that it doesn't equate to cute behavior for a girlfriend or a friend. Like it kind of shows up as overwhelm or snapping or even rage. And it's this really ugly kind of behavior. And I think for both of us, we feel a lot of shame around that. That being said, I'm going to put my therapist hat on. I've got my therapist tie on.
I was like, are you dressing to theme every time it's your turn to grill me?
This is how I dress every day. And we're going to get started. So I'm going to kick you off with a very standard therapist question. When did you first realize you might be struggling with hyperindependence?
It was definitely when Mum was diagnosed with early onset dementia. I just think suddenly my whole life shifted in a way that you couldn't possibly prepare for. Who sees that coming? Nobody. Overnight, I went from being a teenager with normal teenage worries, like does the cute boy in the school bus like me back, to having to manage all these really serious adult responsibilities. I also became the only kind of other adult in our household.
And the only other female energy in the house as well.
Yeah,
right?
and I definitely felt that. I mean, you know, 14, 15, 16, you really need your mum. There's some really pivotal years and huge things are happening in your body, socially, emotionally. But I'd come home from school and Dad would kind of dump the day's happenings onto me, understandably, because he'd been dealing with it alone. And it was a lot to carry. It got to the point where I wouldn't want to come home from school because I would dread the updates. Today this happened, then she did this, then I had to do this. And I often say with Mum's diagnosis that we lost Dad in a lot of ways as well. He became her full-time carer. And caring for somebody with younger onset dementia at home, we're not nurses. We haven't been trained in this.
You don't have that resilience.
No, it's a 24/7 job.
Yeah.
It's a 24/7 job. I mean, she was doubly incontinent. The washing alone was a full-time job. So he did his very best. He did the best job he could to bring up 3 teenagers, but I kind of felt like I'd lost both of my parents in this one hit. And that early experience really cemented this belief that I had to be self-reliant, that I couldn't really lean on others. And it's a belief that has followed me through into my career, into my friendships, and even into my relationships.
When we talk about this sort of resistance to help, right? And it's something, like you say, shows up in all types of relationships. What is the hardest part for you? Like when someone's offering help, what is it about it that feels hard?
Letting go of the control. Like letting go of the control is by far the hardest part. I joke, and I know you probably joke too, that we're like, oh, we're control freaks. That's me getting ahead of the game. That's me saying it before you can call me out on it. I like things done a certain way, and I convince myself that if I hand it over to somebody else, they'll either disappoint me, let me down, or I'll have to redo it anyway. And there's also this sort of deep-seated fear of being a burden. Of someone rolling their eyes and thinking, oh, I have to deal with her again, or here she is again, or she has another problem or another drama. And so it just feels safer sometimes to keep pushing through alone, even when I am running on fumes, completely spent.
Yes.
And ironically, I know that this mindset ends up hurting me more than anyone else, but I think breaking that cycle and relinquishing some of that control after so many years is near impossible.
Well, it's not, and that's what our therapy session's about today. We're working towards that behavior, and we'll get to that at the end. But I'm sort of listening to you and I'm like, you know, was there a time when you let someone in and let someone help you and it felt good? Or would you say that like every time you've had someone offering help, it's just felt uncomfy?
It's almost sad to say this, but truly being with Ned, and in fact, it was when we moved in together, that was the first time where I let someone help me. You know, it was just like little things, like I had moved so many times. We've both moved like an abnormal amount of times.
We're professional movers. Yeah.
Packing, moving boxes, doing carload after carload after carload, taking up your heaviest things upstairs, unpacking, building furniture. I had done that a million times by myself. Hell, literal hell. And suddenly I had this person.
Not as bad as calling someone and being like, can you help me do this?
I would rather do it myself.
I'd rather do it myself.
I would rather like get a hernia, get a green stick fracture.
Very specific example. I remember putting together an IKEA bookshelf with a Doc Marten because I didn't have a hammer. Like, just ask for some help.
I mean, that's ingenious if you ask me.
It's pretty punk.
I think I've used a meat cleaver before.
Girls doing things.
That little thing you're supposed to like to make your steak thinner.
Oh, that's so domestic that you own one of those things. Anyway, we digress.
It was him helping out without me asking.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I obviously resisted. No, I've got it. No, that's my stuff. It's my box. I'll do it. You worry about your things. I'll do it. It's like, Tully, I'm here. Let me help. It was tricky and I wanted to be like, no, let me help you help me. Like, let me help you. I'll carry the other half of that box.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're both doing tasks that really is just for one person.
Job.
Yeah.
But eventually I let him and it felt really good. It felt safe. Okay. It felt like there was a weight off my shoulders. I could breathe. It halved the moving day and, it made it a lot more seamless. It didn't take forever. And it was like, okay, cool. So like this is what it feels like and looks like to truly share the load figuratively and literally with someone else.
Yes, totally. And I'm sure there's people listening to this going, but that's just normal.
I know.
People that have grown up in very stable nuclear families where they've had that support well into adulthood and then maybe moved into a really healthy relationship. That's standard. Equal partners, someone you can call for help. But these are things that when you don't have it in those formative years, it's so unusual and foreign that it really can take a while to kind of welcome that in.
If I had $1 for every time I thanked Ned profusely for doing something, and he would say, I haven't done anything. This is just the norm. I'm not going above and beyond, but I am so grateful because the bar is in literal hell.
Well, this is what I was going to say. So I think like the cycle that you and I are kind of stuck in, this like champagne bottle being shaken and popped and apologizing when we have that kind of meltdown, but then also thanking so much when things are just like normal partner things are done. We're like, oh my God, thank you so much. Maybe to go back to that first behavior though, what is the first warning sign for you that champagne bottle's about to pop?
Okay, firstly, it's definitely lack of sleep. When I am lying there ruminating or I'm doom scrolling, lack of sleep is kind of the first sign.
Because my brain's
just
busy.
On absolute overdrive.
Yep.
It is a tiny little ant farm, like running around in there. A little like guinea pig. It is a guinea pig in a goddamn wheel.
If you didn't feel stressed watching the two of us just then you do not know what this is like.
If you are listening to this episode, I implore you to go to either Spotify or YouTube and watch what I just did. I don't know what it is.
Makes a lot more sense.
I don't know what it is.
I think the pressure's building. We're not sleeping. Maybe there's a few things that are starting to set you off. Do you feel like tiny things that should be okay start to feel really hard?
100%. It's always the days where you're feeling like this and then you try and walk around the corner and your shirt gets caught on the door handle and you're like, motherfucker, you kidding me? You know what I mean? Or you'll stub your toe. Something that you don't do as an adult, but today you're going to stub your toe. It's definitely
it's rage.
I think a lack of sleep. It triggers into my mood. I get snappy over little things. I stop feeling present. I start withdrawing because I think, no. This troll should go back under her bridge.
Yes.
No one should have to witness what's about to happen.
Yep.
I'm like a Pokemon about to evolve. But
I was wondering when you'd work a Pokemon analogy into this show.
I'm like a Pokemon evolving into a worse version of themselves.
So you know it's going to happen though, right? Like this is not a surprise to you. You're not like, oh my God, I just snapped and I have no idea why. You feel this pressure building. You know it's coming. Why don't you stop it then?
I mean, that's the big question, isn't
it?
it?
It's a magic question.
I'm really working on at the moment to try to get better at communicating when I'm in that headspace. Whether it's to use a code word, like Ned and I have been playing around with crunchy.
I'm sorry, your code word is
It's like,
crunchy?
hey, look, just so you know, because a lot of the time, right, he's at work.
Oh, like I'm feeling
a bit crunchy.
Oh, that's good. I use sharp. I'm feeling sharp.
My dad called me prickly from like 5 years old.
Yeah.
Prickly is one.
Describes both
I'm
of
feeling
us.
a little bit crunchy, just so you know, because often he's at work, I'm at home, this bottle's being shaken up, he's not even witness to it.
Yep.
And I'm feeling myself get worse and worse. And I'm like, letting you know I've had a day.
Yep.
I'm feeling a bit crunchy. Like I want to punch a pillow. I'm trying to get better at
that's nice. I don't think that's the threat that's usually flying around. But
keeping it PG. I'm trying to get better at communicating when I'm in that headspace. naming the thing, sometimes giving it, acknowledging how you're feeling, saying it out loud.
Right.
Can take some of the sting and the edge off.
Yes.
But B, letting him know ahead of time, I'm on edge.
Yeah.
So he can meet me there and come into the house or wherever we are and be like, what can I do? How can I help you? Before I get to the pop.
Tell me, in those moments, when you have someone that can step in and help, what is it that he does? Because it sounds like Ned's quite successful at talking you off a ledge at that point. I can tell listeners, I have not been successful, nor have you for me. Thinking to Bali, 2000 yeah, okay, we'll broach that one another day.
That's a story for another day. That's a whole episode in itself.
Cut to Tully and I walking opposite directions after a fight. But what does Ned do in those moments that helps?
I mean, firstly, he knows me so well. He knows sometimes better than I do in those moments. It's one thing to be like, I know what self-soothes me. I have all the tools in my tool belt. But when you're in those moments, when your champagne bottle is about to explode, all that stuff goes out of your brain.
It's like sirens in your head, right?
You don't remember anything you've been taught, anything your therapist has taught you. So having someone who kind of does remember because they're not in that heightened state really helps.
Yep.
Go have a hot shower.
Yep.
Let's put on some jazz music. You sit down, I'll do dinner.
Yep. I can see you clanging around the kitchen as you
throwing
describe
things around, like, and also just finding other problems, like, oh, that's your dish from this morning.
Yes.
He's like, I just put it there.
So this is another thing with hyperindependence. When all of these things are mounting and becoming too much, every single little task becomes huge. And I don't know if you feel this as well, but there's a voice in your head going, there's too much for me to do. I can't do this on my own. Why is no one here to help me? I'll do it myself.
You even feel and think that way when you've had someone 5 minutes prior offering to help you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally.
I think what you said the other day, Mags, in the WhatsApp, which again really hit home and made me cry because it's so nice to feel seen in this space. My beautiful, amazing, cool, calm, collected boyfriend, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get the hurricane that's in my brain in those moments. He tries, and that's so important, but his brain doesn't work like that. But you said we're fine until we're not.
Yeah.
And there's rarely any gray warning area. We're fine, we're fine, we're fine. I'm good. I don't need your help. No, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. I don't fucking have it.
Yep. And it feels like a real shock. And I think that behavior, it feels very unattractive. And I deliberately use that word. And that's something that we spoke about was the way it shows up looks bratty. I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm not. Because it's coming out of the blue, people are like, why did you just snap at me about that? That is such an overreaction. That is so crazy. It's like, if you knew the amount of stuff I was juggling. And the other thing I wanted to say was, I think when you're a very capable person and you take on a lot of these things, you're celebrated for it. If I had $1 for every time someone goes, I just don't know how you do it. You've got a kid and your job and it's the same with you. I just don't know how you do it.
You're so strong. You're so resilient.
Right? And I think that when people are sort of rewarding that behavior, that muddies the water for me a little bit as well. Because I go, well, I am great and independent on my own. And I think we've got to kind of catch ourselves and go, it's not a good thing to be hyper independent.
No. And it's not about weakness. It's about the realization that letting someone help can actually make you feel stronger. Because then you've got, do you know what I mean?
Yes. And I think the only way you can do that is by trying and feeling really uncomfortable with the first time and then checking in and going, oh no, that wasn't so bad after all. Right? Like the amount of times I've reached out to you and gone, this person wants to do this thing for me. Can you believe it? I'll do it myself. And you're like, maybe you should just say yes. Let someone help pick up your kid from daycare.
Yeah.
Let someone pay for the dinner if you can't afford it. And I think it's like just those little moments of going, okay, I'll give it a shot. Okay, well, Tal, amazing work sharing. I know this is something we both feel pretty uncomfortable facing up to. It's not the nicest personality trait to own, but proud of you. You have owned it. And our WhatsApp chat will be entertaining this topic for many years to come, I suspect. So I've got some therapy notes for you, my love. Are you ready?
I am.
Let's do the thing. So Tal, here's what I'm hearing from you. Relying on other people feels pretty uncomfortable, and in the past, it's even felt unsafe for you. You've had to learn to do pretty much everything on your own. And that makes sense, especially since your past experiences have taught you that depending on others led to disappointment or hurt. And I know you really well, and both of those things has happened. You've opened up to people, you've let them in, they've hurt you profoundly. Let's explore this together. Is your dogged commitment to personal independence giving you freedom, or is it keeping you isolated and overwhelmed? So hyperindependence is what we call a protective strategy. So it's your bubble wrap.
Yep.
And rather than thinking of it like a flaw, it's something that you've generated to help you survive life, basically. And it's something that you had to kind of create as
It's
a
my
teenager.
armor. Like it's me putting on my knight's armor.
Right. And
getting
you
my
had-
shield up.
And from like what, 13? How old were you and your mum was
14.
14. You're a kid. And so it's a very, very natural normal behavior. But now as an adult, it might be worth asking, is this strategy still serving you in the life that you were trying to build? So for us, control equaled safety.
Yeah.
But you don't have to give up that strength or autonomy. These are still valuable. What you can do is start working towards creating space where it's safe to lean, even if it's just a little bit, on someone for help. And from what I'm hearing, you're already doing that with Ned.
Trying. Baby steps.
Baby tiny steps. So I know like for me in the past 2 years, now that everyone's heard my sob story, I hated asking for help and I really slowly had to start doing it. It was like exposure therapy.
Yeah.
And there were many times I was in a pinch. I didn't have a choice. But little bit by little bit, I realized it was okay. So what I'm asking you to do, you force yourself, microdose asking for help.
I mean, that sounds terrifying. Again, I'm sweating. Pizza sweaty, mum spaghetti, vomit, something. No, I think that's really great advice. And it's definitely something that I have already been working on, that I continue to work on. It's freaking brilliant advice. I forgot for a second there that I wasn't actually sitting with my therapist. I was so enthralled. I was like, speak, Tully, say something.
Do you think it's the tie?
It's the tie and the socks.
Yeah.
Something I think we could both work on is continuing to get better at communicating when we're in that stage. When our bottle feels really shaken up, when we feel that pressure, I think we can both continue to be better at vocalizing that. And it can just be as simple as, hey, I'm having a day. I'm feeling really stretched. Just saying the thing to our friends, to our colleagues, to our family, just saying it out loud.
Don't retreat.
Don't retreat. Don't go under the bridge.
Don't become ice queen.
Don't be a
maniac.
troll doll hiding under your little bridge with your little Diamante belly button.
Hang on one second. What the hell are you talking about?
What do you mean?
No, what do you mean?
The original troll dolls that had the crazy hair with the little like, and the hair matched the
They had
diamond.
a belly button ring.
You're only a year younger than me. How is this such
so
a
millennial coded.
Okay, I'm gonna get one up and I'm gonna put it on the Instagram page.
The original Labubu. Okay, well,
Literally the original Labubu.
We're moving away. We're almost done with this segment. And now it's time for some therapy homework. So if you're listening to today's On the Couch segment and it's making you feel a little bit uncomfortable or even triggered, we want you especially to make sure you do this week's homework.
Eldest Daughters, which is coincidentally also one of the new Taylor Swift tracks that's coming up. We're looking at you. We're looking at you guys. This week we want you to write a if I could outsource list. Spend 5 minutes listing the tasks in your life you'd happily hand over guilt-free if you could. It'll highlight where you resist help the most and where you could start letting some people in.
Because asking for help isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you finally realized you were never meant to do it all alone. We're going to hear from GoTo, the people who make self-help possible. Hold tight and we'll be back in a minute.
Mags, you know, no matter how much skincare you do, skin will still skin.
Oh yeah, mine loves to throw a little stress zit just before a big event.
Well, in very exciting news and something we've been sitting on for a little while now, GoTo, our favourite skincare brand, have just entered the makeup game with not one, but 2 skincare first primers made in South Korea. Think skincare smarts meets K-beauty brilliance.
There's very glowy primer, this is my favourite, packed with hydrators and antioxidants like hyaluronic acid and pomegranate extract for that I drink 3 litres of water a day radiance.
And very mattifying primer, shine controlling and lightweight but never sticky, with niacinamide and vitamin E for velvety, makeup ready skin that's nice and hydrated too.
Basically, whatever camp you're in, glow getter or matte lover, GoTo's got you covered.
Wear these skincare first primers solo or with makeup, whatever or wherever you fancy.
Find out more at www.gotoskincare.com. Okay, it's about that time in the show where we trawl our saved folder on Instagram, our favourites folder on TikTok, and our pin shared notes app that simply says podcast ideas in capital letters. And Tully, I think we've got a few things written on serviettes as well.
We do. It's also the time Maggie and I finally get to put these degrees to good use.
Shade.
It's Self-Help Scoop of the Week, where we pull apart a news or pop culture story from the last 7 days.
And as two people who have no issue admitting to using various apps to meet new people or potential love interests in the past.
I literally met Ned on Hinge.
You did. Today we're going to chat about TeaOnHer, the number 3 app on Apple's app store. There's a little app in that.
A lot of app. You nailed it. Yeah, so TeaOnHer, Mags. Have you heard about this?
Yes, I have. And do you know what? I just have to start by saying men can't have nice things. Sorry. Do you want to tell people what this is before I get a full rant?
Yeah, so TeaOnHer is not even a side, it's like a sister.
Like a response.
Yeah.
Like a response
to the
app.
original Tea app, which is where women got together and they shared information and intel about
Anonymously,
of course, about men they were dating. Now, I think the original premise was to help keep other women safe or to make sure that the guy they were seeing isn't seeing somebody else. But it was originally started by women.
And you can see why, right? Like, as someone that's been in the dating pool for 2 years, you date these men and crazy things happen. Like, they're seeing another 2 people and you think, I just wish I knew. Like, we live in a small town, but not that small.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that, you know, men that really misbehaved deserve a spot on this app. But now they've flipped the script and we feel uncomfortable with it. Are we just massive hypocrites?
Yeah, I find it so fascinating. The fact that Tea was originally a female-centered space, a place where women shared their experiences, and now it's been flipped and now men are swapping notes on women. It really does make you question, like, why do we feel differently about the ethics of that?
Right. So I think it feels sexist to me. Like, I'm just going to put it out there. I know it's so icky, but I think it does feel sexist for us to say men don't also deserve the right to feel safe with the person they're dating. You can see why it's there, right? Like, men behaving badly, they need to be called out on it. For women, I think we really reach for this thing of safety, like physical safety. But for men, don't they also deserve the right? If there's a chronic bad female dater out there that's abusive in some way, doesn't everyone deserve the right to be safe?
It's definitely food for thought. I think anonymous gossip can feel really cathartic, like venting without consequence, but there's a fine line between sharing your truth and straight up character assassination.
Yes, for sure.
And I think it's worth asking, like, are these apps creating connection or just creating collateral damage? Like, why do we feel the need to share tea at all? The whole concept of tea is interesting in itself.
It is. And so maybe like the premise is not good. I think that, you know, I've written a lot about being judged in the court of, you know, the internet.
What is it called? The kangaroo's court? Is that what
it's called?
Something like that.
But, you know, I think that there's no one mediating. There's no one looking out for safety. There's no one triaging truth behind this stuff. And I mean, ostensibly, you could look up someone's criminal record if you had real concerns. I think the part about this that feels problematic for me is what people would be going on to complain about. Like, this guy's a bad lover, or this guy's a, you know, like, I think
stinky breath.
Yeah.
I think the security breach is the part that gives me the chills because it mirrors the exact trauma that many of us have lived, myself included, where those moments that you thought were private get shared in a public space.
Yes.
And there's no consent.
Yes.
And whether it's nudes, texts, or just a really vulnerable story.
Or just a story. That's it. It doesn't have to be something like quite as overt.
It hits on that universal fear that, can I actually trust what I share in a digital space? Or can I actually trust the person that I'm dating? I think that TeaOnHer is actually a real cultural moment. Like, it's sitting right at the crossroads of Me Too, cancel culture, safe dating, and digital parenting. Like, if apps like this are thriving, what does that say about how we view relationships and accountability right now? Is this progress? Or is this a step backwards?
And also, do we just need to grow up? Just sometimes we have a bad date and you've just got to cop it on the chin and
like,
go,
stop writing notes on like toilet bathrooms, like at nightclubs.
No, start doing that. That's exactly what we should be doing. I think that's way better than putting it on the internet. I mean, yeah, I think if you're truly concerned about someone for their safety, that's one thing. But yeah, maybe you all need to be a little bit more comfortable with bad dates.
Or just being honest to the person that you're dating.
What? You got stinky breath?
No. Okay, we'll just leave it at what you said.
So before we wrap up on this topic, I also have this other thought, which is like, people change.
100%. They grow, they evolve.
Listen, I was the worst person to go on a date with for the last 2 years. I will readily admit that. Sorry to anyone that I went on a date with. I was avoidant. I was kind of like not ready for something, but I was throwing myself in. But people change. So apps like this don't allow for that growth, you will always keep getting pulled back into this person that you were at one point in time.
Yeah, I think it's a really murky, mucky space, but I'm not sure.
I don't know, maybe back of the toilet door.
Yeah.
Maggie Kelly, don't date her.
Maggie Kelly made me pay for her steak and lobster and then never called me back.
Oh, that one hits deep.
This last segment is the light and fluffy palate cleanser after crying your eyes out on the therapy couch.
Well, now I feel like a jerk because you've been crying and I haven't. But like, can you actually imagine if you went to a therapist appointment, they're like, well, that was really sad. Sorry your mum's dead, but do you want to hear a good joke?
Here's a funny TikTok I saw earlier.
Totally. Two guys walk into a bar. Anyway, we're having fun mixing it up, but if there's been a segment that you guys have loved so far, please let us know. You can look us up on Insta on @selfhelpedpod or on TikTok, or you can shoot us an email at selfhelppod@gmail.com.
Yeah, please let us know. We love nothing more than pleasing you guys. This week we thought we'd have a little debate, a friendly debate, Marguerite. Hopefully anyway. We've called it Change My Mind, and we've both picked a topic or a thing that we know the other one hates.
I love this.
Or dislikes. Hate's a strong word.
It's giving high school debate and I'm here for it. So we have 2 minutes each to change the other person's opinion on this topic. And neither of us actually know what the other person's picked. So this is brand new for both of us. How are you feeling, Tully? You feeling open-minded?
No, I'm feeling stubborn as a bull, but go ahead.
Oh, just
After
for a
you.
change.
You go first.
Welcome to Change My Mind. So Tully,
Yes.
I'd like to bring to the table today not a topic, but a word. Can you guess what
You
this
have
word
so many
is?
words that I hate you using.
My word of today that I'm going to have 2 minutes to convince you on is the word shag.
No.
Okay, so my 2-minute persuasive argument for the word shag. I have 3 points. Point number 1.
Where are your palm cards? Where's the adjudicator with the little bell?
Ding. So in the words of esteemed anthropologist Paris Hilton, it's hot. Shag is hot. You don't get a right to reply yet. So for me, this word aligns with all of the sexiest men on the planet, being Rod Stewart, Michael Caine, Richard Burton. So I think that old leathery men are the most handsome people on the planet. It's definitely my type. I also dress like one myself. I feel like these men would 100% use the word shag. It's very on brand for me personally and my personality.
I'm using all my self-control to bite my tongue.
Point number 2, it adds cultural flavor. So I like to think of these words as like cultural condiments. It's like a little bit of like hot sauce, right? So you drop the word shag and people are like, whoa, cultured. Maybe went to England once. Shag. I feel like if you're the type of person to pronounce the T in Moet or refer to it as Ibiza, then this word is for you. It goes over and above to tell people I am extremely chic, or as I prefer, I am the type of person who reads mid-century literature and has a favourite jazz singer. Point number 3, shag is singular. There is no word in the English language that can compare to the word shag. It's casual, it's offhand, it's glib, it's fun, it's no strings attached. Shags don't break hearts. Shags don't wait for text message replies. Shags are joyful and silly and fine for any conversation. I feel like you could say the word shag at work and it's totally fine. And to end my debate for today,
You've gotten way too much enjoyment out of this.
to conclude my argument in the words of Fleabag, Claire, it's French. The sound
was
of
good.
one hand clapping.
That was good, wasn't it, Ali?
So tell me, did I convince you?
I mean, it was very good. You're very convincing. Can I tell you who I imagine and who you kind of morph into every time you use that word?
Tell me.
Because you also use pash and snog.
I do.
Which I hate.
Oh.
You become, I don't know the character or the actress's name, Bridget Jones's best friend.
Oh, yes.
The one that's always sucking on
Yes.
a dart
Oh.
with the kind of frizzy hair.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
I knew you'd take that as a compliment. If you thought that any of the men Maggie listed are actually attractive or hot, please let us know because I am in disagreement with that as well.
Okay, Tully, I don't know how you're going to top that, but over to you. What is your topic for debate today? Convince me.
Okay, Maggie, hear me out. I know you don't get the Taylor Swift thing.
Oh, God.
Hey, I was quiet. But here's why you should. I also have a few points. Firstly, the music. Forget the pop princess image, Taylor has a catalogue that spans country, indie folk, synth pop, straight bangers. There is literally something for every mood. Her songwriting is why she studied in universities, that's legit, and like you, she's a storyteller. Storyteller first, pop star second. You don't have to be a fan of her to connect with the honesty in a lyric about heartbreak, friendship, or even just screaming along to Cruel Summer.
I don't think straight bangers is a music genre. Sorry.
I will stick one of your maroon socks in your mouth in a minute. Secondly, the scale of what she has built. The Eras Tour is the highest grossing tour of all time. Every stop sells out stadiums in minutes, not just because she's famous, but because she's created a cultural movement. Entire cities light up buildings in her colours, Empire State Building for one. When she arrives, airlines schedule flights around her concerts. That is cultural power you cannot ignore. Thirdly, she has reshaped the entire music industry. Rod Stewart, your boyfriend, reshaped the entire industry. From calling out Apple Music and winning to re-recording her own albums and making Taylor's versions, she's literally changed how labels treat artists. She's given a generation of musicians the confidence to demand ownership of their own work, as they should. And finally, she's more than hype, she's connection. Women scream, cry, laugh, dance at her shows because they see themselves in her words. Whether you're 15 or 35, she captures the universal feeling of being too much, not enough, heartbroken, euphoric, and that's why she matters. So even if you don't want to become a Swiftie, which I will respect, respecting her artistry, her business brain, and the sheer cultural weight that she carries is unavoidable. And honestly, that girl just knows how to write a good chorus.
Girl, it was giving the monologue from Elle Woods and Legally Blonde.
That is a huge compliment. Thank you so much.
I think this is all anyone needs to know about us as two people. The fact that I think it's a compliment to be that old scraggly lady.
And I think it's a compliment to be Elle Woods. I mean, she ends up going to Harvard.
Look, your Taylor Swift is my Rod Stewart, and I think that's all we need to know. Shake hands. Great argument.
Yeah, I think we both get a little Tim Tam from the snack plate. I literally only joined the debate team in high school because we would go to the local boys' schools once a week and I get to see some males.
How did you ever become a lesbian?
I don't know.
That's for another day.
I mean, and on that note...
All right, friends, we'd love to keep chatting, especially about Rod Stewart, but sadly the time is up for today. Tully, will that be cash or card?
I have no money, but lucky for me and for you guys, Self-Helped is all about free advice from two women who spent a lot of money on theirs, hence why I'm broke.
Every week we'll be inviting you to pull up a virtual chair and let us spill the tea on what we've learned, not just from therapy, but from the roller coaster of life.
The wins, the mess, and the surprisingly sound advice we've gotten from our new best friends at the 161 nightclubs at 2 a.m. We're here for each other and hopefully for you too.
Oh, I miss that lady. If you like what you've heard, hit subscribe, leave us a glowing review and follow us on Instagram at selfhelpedpod. Validation is our love language.
We'll be back in your ears every Thursday wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Thank you for tuning in to Self-Helped.
We'll see you at your next appointment. Please do not be late.
This episode was brought to you by GoTo, undeniably effective, effortless skincare. Find out more at gotoskincare.com.
We'd like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people, the traditional owners of the land on which we've recorded today's episode, and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging.
Always was, always will be.